Okay, it looks like it's recording. Finally got this situated. So I imported your picture into Lightroom 5. I have this little starting point preset that I made myself. I'll actually use that one. And it's basically just these numbers. And I mess with the sharpening a little bit. And I just use this for all of my pictures as my starting point. So what I would do first, if it were mine, is press R for the cropping. And I know they're straight, but the stairs aren't, and that drives me absolutely nuts. So, probably just like that, to straighten that out a little bit. And I might bring up the shadows a little bit so that it would bring out some more definition in their face. I always bring all my highlights down and my shadows up. And then I take the blacks down a little bit. Raise the temperature a little. Because this is how I like my starting point before I do my actual edit in Photoshop. So, press Y. There's a before and after. It's not a huge difference, but there's more definition in the background and in his hair, and then I mess with it in Photoshop. So that's all I do in Lightroom. So edit in Photoshop. Come on. Alright, I'm going to do Control J to create a new layer. And then zoom into eyeballs. I like eyeballs. Actually, right here, I'm going to grab the patch tool since I like the patch tool a lot. There's a little glare right there. I'm just going to move that out of the way. That looks like it's part catchlight. Let's see here. I don't have an easy way to do this. I'm going to grab a piece over here. This is just the lasso tool. I'm just selecting a piece. And then Control J to put it on its own layer. Control T. And I can move it over here. Flip it. I'm going to lower the opacity so I can see where I'm putting it. Up the opacity. Accept that. I'm going to create a mask. Grab my brush with black. Lower the opacity to about 50. I just pushed the 5 for that one. And then get rid of this line here. I guess what I'm really just wanting to do. I should have just inverted the mask. Whatever. So now I'm going to just paint in over where that glare is. And then I'll fix it up in a second. If you press Control E, it'll merge it with the layer underneath it. So that you can... I use the patch tool a lot. I'm just trying to clean up those lines. I like to try and do any little cleanups before I do the edit, of course. Oh, it's a little purpley. Sometimes it's a little slow. Some of that line's gone. So I'm going to grab my clone stamp. I also keep it on 50. just kind of paint in there. Maybe clone from over there. Just trying to make it look like there aren't actually lines there. My laptop's really slow sometimes. Still just using the clone stamp to fix this up a little bit. And this isn't completely necessary, but I usually don't have people with glasses. So, there's the line, there's without the line. So nothing too amazing. Also, I would take this red line out. You know, if that's like a scratch from an animal. His hair on her forehead can go away. Not sure what that is. If it was like a freckle, I guess I should go collect it. Any little bumps can leave. But other than that, so that looks okay. I'm just gonna do Control Shift E and smash it. Make a new layer. I grabbed O for my dodge tool. I always keep it on 15%. I'm using the bracket keys to make it go up and down. Just brighten up the eyes like this a little bit. I make it brighter than I want it so that I can lower the opacity of the other layer. And do the same to his. Brighten. Then I grab the dodge tool. It's also on 15%. I just outline the eyes with it. And then there's this vivid eyes. I actually got this little action from Paint the Moon. It was a freebie action, I think, so it was easier than making my own. It just ups the saturation and stuff of the eye color, and I'll be bringing that back down too. So it just helps the eyes pop a little bit more. So of course I'm painting on the black layer mask with a white brush on 50%. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit to see how much of a difference that made. So for hers, it's really quite a big change. His not so much. I'm going to press Control G and just grouped it. Grab another layer mask. Oh, I guess it didn't change hers too much. Alright, I'll leave it like that. For her, she already has pretty nice teeth, but I do a really simple teeth whitening because I'm kind of lazy and I don't like to spend 2 hours on portraits. And I forgot that I normally always have it on 3 pixel feathering so that it doesn't look so horrid. I just changed it last night when I was making something, so I forgot to change it back. So just a simple outline because it's going to be feathered anyway. Control J puts her teeth on a new layer. I could scooter over. Control M brings up curves. So just bring it up a little bit to brighten. Grab the blues, bring those up a little bit. Takes out the yellow. So there's the difference. Just quick little teeth whitening. Also, while I'm right here, I'm just going to take away this little layer on her gums. Yes, that's the patch tool again. There. Okay. So that's probably good for little fixes. I don't know why I'm taking that out. Just little things to catch my eyes. And then I have this little action that I made myself, because I do the same basic edit for all of my images. Just makes my life easier recording everything into an action. And ta-da! So that's what that did. So I have my little selective sharpening layer up here. That's a high pass layer. I go in with my white brush and paint over like eye details. I do eyebrows, bring them out a little bit. And then I usually also add some to the lips, so it's just not the eyes standing out like the line of the lips I do. Just helps give the eyes a little bit of a punch. Go back out, since they're looking a little yellowy. That's the base that gave it that kind of glow. I'll turn that down a little bit because I'm going to be adding more warmth in my second step. My lightness, this is just a curves layer that's pulled up. My darkness is a curves layer pulled down with black layer mask. So grab my white brush and just paint some more light into their faces and their skin. Don't want to blow out her dress, so I'm just going to paint dark on it a little bit. I like to also, my darken layer is just a plain old curves layer set on multiply. And then I'm going to drag up the opacity for that a bit. And then use my brush and mask it off of them. It's just a little bit faster of making them stand out more. I'll probably lower it in just a second actually. Let's check on the pop. That one's fine. For the darken, I'll probably also... I hate it when the background is brighter than the subject sometimes. Their lightness, I'm going to bring it up a little bit. So, now we have that. And then my other action that I made, that I use after this, it smashes everything and then applies my warmthy. Yes, I make up my own words as I go. Ta-da! So obviously their skin's quite orange, so I'm going to mask it off of this group. This group has like a film type of look. It gives it more of a blur. This adds some warmth. And this is just a color lookup for fall colors. Come on, come back. And then this is another color lookup. It's called Crisp Warm. So I'll take some of that off their skin too. I'll pull up this. It's just the curves that I stuck there. I pulled the red channel down a little bit. so it just takes the red tint out. Maybe I'll bring that up. Invert the mask with Control I. Use my white brush and just take it off the skin. I like lots of yellows and warm tones in my pictures, so they look a little more normal. So that's what that did to it. And then I smash it. I'm just going to do Control Shift S. I save as edit in JPEG. Save that as 12. And then this web resize and sharpen, I also got that as a freebie from Paint the Moon and decided might as well just keep it. It's doing great things, so it just resizes it for the web, makes it look nice and sharp and clean, and since I had already sharpened up their eyes individually, I'm just gonna take it a little bit off their faces. And some other spots. And then that just saves it as a copy. So that's nice. And that's what I usually post to the web. Alrighty. So here, let me close that, close that. Where did I put? My desktop always gets so messy. And as a quick side by side, yes, because it was that time. So that was the original. Let's see if it'll go over. Oh, yeah. Oh. That's strange. Alright. So original. And edit. Original. Edit. Okay, that's all. Now how do I get out of this? Okay, there we go.